Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the Carolina Panthers versus New Orleans Saints NFL Wildcard Playoff matchup. And each week, I like to collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there's always going to be some variation between various variables. However, there's always going to be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you are new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So, starting with this matchup between the Panthers and the Saints, the third matchup so far this season as well. And when you look at the NFL stat basic comparison data, and basic comparison data is essentially the basics. It deals with how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, and of course how the special teams is doing based on various variables, different sort of team statistics. And most of the data in this game favors the Saints. It is important to note, though, that the Panthers have gotten better as the season has gone on. So some of the data may not have caught up to how well they're playing, but the Saints have been consistent in a lot of different areas, much more than the Panthers this year. And we're just going to highlight some of those areas where the Saints are better, where the Panthers are somewhat better, and also just give a general view of why the Saints are favored in this game. So first off, when you look at the offensive data, the Saints are pretty much favored offensively in every single major category. The Saints have a better turnover ratio, so they don't turn the football over as much as the Panthers have this year. The Saints have the better sack percentage, meaning they don't allow as many sacks. And the Saints also have a better offensive score percentage, so they're able to put points on the board more consistently on every drive compared to what the Panthers have been able to do. But not only on offense do the Saints have a pretty good favorability, but the Saints also have a better defense in many ways. The Saints have a better defensive offensive score percentage, meaning they're able to prevent points more often than what the Panthers have been able to do this year. The Saints have a better turnover ratio, and the Saints also have a better interception percentage. So the Saints are just in general able to create turnovers more often compared to what the Panthers have been able to do. The Panthers do have the better sack percentage on defense, so the Panthers are basically able to get sacks more often compared to what the Saints are able to do. But overall, the Saints just generally have a better defense just because they can get turnovers and they also prevent points more often, which is another sort of factor that plays into why the Saints are favored in this game. Then, of course, when you get to special teams data, the Panthers have the better kick return yardage. Punt return yardage, Kick return yardage more so favors the Saints. Defensive punt return yardage and defensive kick return yardage favors the Panthers. Field goal percentage favors the Panthers. Extra point percentage favors the Saints. And punting average favors the Saints. As far as who has the better special teams, it pretty clearly is the Panthers. By far the most important special team statistic out of every statistic when it comes to special teams is field goal percentage. It's the most correlative to winning football games and success in general. And the Panthers just have a very sizable difference in terms of their ability to get 3 points on the board versus the Saints. So overall, I would say the Panthers have the better special teams. However, just to reiterate, the Saints have the better offense. The Saints have the better defense in most of the ways. But the Panthers have the better special teams. So that's the general macro view of this particular football game. And again, the Saints are favored. The Saints aren't favored by extremely wide margin. I mean, it definitely is a pretty decent margin, but not a, oh my gosh, you can't, it's not insurmountable. However, I would say there is enough positives on offense for the Saints and defense as well to indicate that there's a pretty good chance that they could get the W in this game if they play their cards all the right way. And then, of course, when you get to some other sort of data points, so now we're getting into some different down and distance data, different completion percentage data. When you look at the Panthers offense versus Saints defense when it comes to completion percentage, the Saints defense is favored on first, second, and third down. Completions have not been the biggest strength of the Panthers this year, and it pretty much shows up in the data that that's pretty much the case so far. Then, of course, you look at the Saints offense versus Panthers defense when it comes to completion percentage, where it's basically a swing difference The Saints are just amazing when it comes to first down, second down, and third down. In fact, the Saints have the best first down completion percentage in the NFL, the best second down completion percentage in the NFL, and the best third down completion percentage in the NFL. And not only that, Drew Brees has the best completion percentage overall out of every single quarterback in the last 10 years, if not more so. I'll have to double check some of that, but definitely in the last 10 years, Drew Brees has the best completion percentage out of any quarterback in the last 10 years. So completion percentage is definitely the bag. It's what the Saints do the best. They're able to get the ball into the playmaker's hands consistently, which ultimately increases your chances for good things happening when the ball gets into the ball carrier's hands. Then, of course, you get to rushing down. So this is first down conversion rate with the run. This has nothing to do with yardage or explosive plays. It purely has to do with the ability to get first downs to various downs and distances. And in this particular area, the Panthers are favored on first, second, and third down. So pretty good likelihood that the Panthers rushing offense should have success in this game. Then, of course, you look at the Saints offense versus Panthers defense when it comes to rushing downs. And in this particular area, the Saints, our offense is favored on first and second down, with third down being the big disparity here. So if there is a moment in this game where the Saints have to get a first down with the run on third down, that definitely more so swings towards the Panthers there in that particular scenario. So keep an eye out for a situation that might happen like that, because it definitely favors the Panthers more to be playing defense with the run on third down compared to what the Saints have been able to do in terms of converting in those areas. Then, of course, we get to passing downs with the Panthers passing offense versus Saints passing defense, where the Saints passing D is actually favored on first and third down. Not a huge, strength for the Saints, but definitely slightly better. And I think that will show up in this game potentially, that, the Saints will be able to kind of, create some havoc, create some plays here and there, which should help with this. And, of course, you get to the Saints offense versus Panthers defense when it comes to passing downs, where the Saints are favored on first, second, and third down. Again, when you have a completion percentage like the Saints do on all three downs, you better have very good conversion rate with those passes, and the Saints definitely do. So the Saints should have a lot of success in terms of the passing game, and definitely kind of continue that over the Panthers D in this particular matchup. Then, of course, we get to sack rates between the Panthers offense and Saints defense, where the Saints defense is favored on second and third down. So definitely a good likelihood that the Saints will be able to get some sacks in those particular downs and distances. Then, of course, you look at the Saints offense versus Panthers defense when it comes to sack rate, where the Saints offense is favored on first and third down. The big down to actually watch and pay attention to is second down. The majority of the sacks the Panthers have been able to generate have come on second down, and the majority of the sacks that the Saints have given up have come on second down as well. So that would probably be the biggest down to watch in terms of if there's a potential for a sack to happen, it would be on second down based on the tendencies of the Saints so far this year. Then, of course, you get to interception ratio between the Panthers offense and Saints defense, where the Saints defense is favored on first and third down. So definitely more so kind of favors the Saints here when it comes to, the overall interception ratio and those other sort of factors here. So I would say the Saints defense has a pretty good likelihood of getting an interception here. And then finally, we look at the Saints offense versus Panthers defense when it comes to interception ratio, where the Saints offense is favored on first and third down. So pretty good likelihood the Saints won't have a lot of turnovers, but if there was a chance, it would be second down. Second down seems to be kind of the worst down for the Saints. That's where they usually get their sacks. That's where the Saints usually give up sacks, is on second down, and they usually get their turnovers on second down as well. So that's probably the biggest down to kind of watch based on how the Saints have performed. So overall, general thoughts and opinions about this particular football game. I think it's going to be a Saints victory. I'm not counting out the Panthers by any stretch of the imagination. The Panthers have definitely had a very good kind of turnaround in the last couple games. Basically to end the year, they've done pretty well in terms of getting their offense better and offense right. But I would say that there is a lot of different things that you have to think about and kind of account for in this game. So overall, again, I think it's a Saints victory. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you believe is going to win this football game? And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know. Hit that notification button so that you're always notified when another video of mine drops. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.